right, here we go, everybody. This will be part 46, part 2. 46 continued. Like I said, I wanted to go more into the politics thing. With respect of our politicians being bought and paid for, whether it's by Israel or by lobbyists or by whatever. They've all, whether they're Democrat or Republican, they've pandered to groups, organizations, stuff for money, made promises for support or not, different causes and things like this. Maybe we need some kind of reform to watch who's giving the money, what kind of promises are being made, this and that. And the thing with these Democrats who, I guess it was the Muslim sister that they all jumped on for saying something about, Israel interfering in our national affairs. The thing is, you can bet your bottom dollar Bernie Sanders, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, all the rest of them will do just like Obama did and pledge his support for Israel. They try and make it out like, Obama was against Israel and this and that. Like, there's a big dog and pony show between both parties. Like I said, they're like a bunch of magicians. Watch, even now with all this rhetoric going back and forth, watch all this here while we're doing something else with the other hand. So, some of them are in on it. Some of them might just be being played. All I know is, I want to know at what point did our national fortunes become dependent on our relationship with Israel. I see all these evangelicals telling their people, that we've achieved what we've achieved because of our support of Israel, and all these other types of things, and how you have to support Israel if you're a Christian, and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, really? I don't know. I read a lot of things in the gospel that say if you believe Jesus is the Messiah, you're not supposed to have anything to do with people who don't think he's the Messiah. So, and you can read Luke 19:27, I believe it is. And that's one of the more harsh things in there. But like I said, there's a lot in the Bible that's been changed, so you gotta take that with a grain of salt too. But there is a lot of things that say, for Christians now, I could understand it for true Christians who don't follow that Trinity stuff and who don't call Jesus God or the Son of God. As far as these Trinity Christians, maybe because you reject truth, you're going to be given over to becoming slaves of the Jews. You rejected the truth that there's one God and Muhammad is his prophet. You rejected the truth that he spoke and made clear that Jesus, peace be upon him, is just a man. That God does not have a son. That there is no Trinity. And all the other truths that are in the Quran, you've rejected all those. So maybe because you rejected those, you will be become enslaved by the Jews. And that's the way it's going. I have no doubt, especially from these TV preachers, that if they got out there and they said, hey, I mean, and what are you going to do when this does happen? Sooner or later, one of them's going to do it and say, hey, you need to sell your home and everything you got and give it to the Jews. It's coming. If you're a Christian out there, evangelical Christian, and you watch these phony balonies, these TV preachers, you can see they plenty of times they even brag about it. I've seen them brag about how they took the last dollar from a woman in a hospital. Told her that would show that she had faith and she would get healed. You're going to be, or how about those ones that back in the 1800s believed the rapture was coming? That one guy told them all to sell everything they own and stand out in the field at midnight because the rapture was coming. They had to be out in the field waiting for the rapture. Sold everything they had. And then he went on to, he starts Seventh-day Adventist or Jehovah's Witness, one of the two. Anyway, he started out, I believe, a offshoot of the Mormons. I'm not sure. But, the rhetoric and stuff has gotten, and people have put such blinders on to the point, no matter what you say to anybody, their ears are closed. They're automatically, they know what it's even back as far as the first, not the very first Gulf War, but when Bush Jr. decided to go in Iraq, and where I was working and stuff, it was very plain to me, it was wrong to be doing, and I was like, this guy's a jackass for doing this. This is a bunch of lies and stuff and everything. And then, the one guy, he was one of these evangelical Christian guys and stuff, flat out just told me, well, you're just a liberal in this. And it's like, what are you talking about? I'm more conservative than you. I don't even drink. This guy drank, and every piece of ass that walked past him, even though he's married, he had Google and eyeball and make comments about. And that's the thing with a lot of these people. You don't even know who or what you are yourselves, and you're going to turn around and you're going to tell somebody else, discount them automatically because you don't like their opinion or what they're saying. And it's way on the, the people on the right. Look at them people on the left. You can't even look at it. They label everybody and this, and you're doing the same thing on the right. I hate to tell you that. I go along more with conservative views and stuff, as far as, we need to have a moral compass, and, it's not anything that goes in this country, and it shouldn't be. But, you're just so set on, you've been told so much crap, and you repeat it. You can easily tell somebody, if you listen to somebody talk, like out here on the road, if you're on the CB, you can tell who's been listening to 3 hours worth of Sean Hannity, because they're sure repeating it. You can tell who's been listening to 3 hours of CNN, because they're sure repeating that too. You're all a bunch of robots anymore. You're not thinking for yourselves. And it's no good for the country. It's no good for you. Just unbelievable how you can automatically shut somebody off and say they're this or that. But anyway, I have no doubt, because a lot of these evangelical preachers, especially these TV big shots, hold so much sway over their followers and stuff that have no doubt. Some of them said, hey, we need to give more to Israel. You need to sell more and everything, give to Israel and stuff. They do. What are you going to do when they knock on your door and say, you need to move out of your house? We're going to give it to this family of Jews. Would you do that? Do you love Israel that much? Do you believe that preacher that much? Well, if not, then why do you believe him so much to say America has to back everything Israel does. You see what I'm saying? Why are you so hell bent on that you can't even question our relationship with Israel? You know, it was Britain who helped found Israel with the Balfour Declaration, and they're the ones who drew up the map of the Middle East to begin with. How did it all fall in America's lap? When did our fate become tied to Israel's? Who decided this was going to be our policy? Don't you think these questions need to be asked and answered and looked at in a reasonable manner instead of all this, well, it's just our belief and blah, blah, blah. Well, we need to take a better look at it than just go on your belief, Jack. We need to look at what we're doing as a nation, because to blindly go like, well, we've hitched our wagon to Israel. Is that how our nation should set its course? Do you think that's prudent? Do you think it's wise? I don't think it's wise. I don't think it's prudent. That our fate, our either our success or our failures depends on how much we support Israel. Do you believe that? I don't know. We're pretty successful even before Israel was ever founded. So, fair treatment of Jewish people, just like should be fair treatment of Muslim people or any other people. We should show fairness to as a nation if we want to be a world leader. We shouldn't just say only these people here, and we're gonna align ourselves with whoever, or we're gonna be against anyone who has anything against Israel, and we're only gonna align ourselves with the policies of Israel. You're giving up your sovereignty, America. You're worried about the damn Russians, and you're giving it up willfully. Your sovereignty, your decision making, you're giving it up willfully to those who want to tie your fate to Israel. And you really need to think about that, whether you're an evangelical Christian or you're not, or whatever you are. If you're in this country, the people who are making decisions and setting policies, if they're doing it based on this theological reason that they believe, it is time for a great, great alarm in this nation. Doesn't say we need to abandon Israel. Doesn't say we need to turn our backs and allow the Jews to be slaughtered. It doesn't. But we do need to put things in perspective. And you should be very alarmed if the politicians of this nation, whether it's because of their beliefs or because their pockets are being lined by Israel, are making decisions, based on those two things. Their pockets are being lined, or they have this theological belief like these evangelicals do. You should be very, very alarmed in this country. That is your sovereignty going bye-bye. You understand that? It's no different than if it was, Russia was, infiltrating our political system and all, these. Let's say you came to find out all these socialist leaning Democrats and stuff had secretly been trained by, Russia and stuff to infiltrate our political system. It's no different. You're giving up your sovereignty. That's what you have to think about. And I don't think it's wrong to question our politicians about their allegiances and why they have those allegiances. And to question whether or not our electoral system has been corrupted. I'm all for voter ID. And these people who say that, they want immigrants to be able to vote, illegal aliens and stuff, be able to vote. You're crazy. You're flat out crazy. This is our country. Where was Mexico during World War II? Huh? Where have they been during any conflict? Where our soldiers went and fought to defend this country and the Constitution and your right to vote. And now you're just going to hand that right to vote over to someone who's not even a citizen of the country. You've lost your freaking minds. And as far as immigration goes, I understand the bit about having asylum and helping people who are in need and this and that. But the way you toss it out there that we can't stop anybody or anything for any reason, that there's no limit to that, it's crazy. What if 1 billion people showed up at our border and we're seeking asylum? You're just going to give them a hearing date and let them walk into the country too? How about if 1 million Chinese a month show up on the border or on the beaches? Suppose China says, you know what, we really got too many people. We ought to take a hint from them Mexicans. We'll take a hint from that Mexican government and we'll just send our people somewhere else. Why isn't everybody looking at Mexico and saying, what the hell are you doing that you won't take care of your people? That you just tell them go be America's problem. Where's that in the news? And on either side. Where's that? Hey, Mexico. What is it? You don't care about your own people. You just tell them go somewhere else. What the hell's that? Why is all the focus on America? We're the bad guys. But as far as this asylum deal goes, what are you going to do? China starts building boats and putting a bunch of people in them, and 1 million Chinese a month, or 2 million. How about 3 million? 3 million Chinese a month show up on our shores on the Pacific coast. Do they get a hearing date and just come on in? Let's be real about this. There's limitations to a lot of things. And I'm sure that there's got to be stipulations in that law about asylum, that, within reason, we'll take people in. This idea that hey, it's great to say, hey, look how great we are. Look how good we are. We're taking all these people in. What good's it going to do anybody if everything gets overburdened and it causes some kind of collapse in society? Tell me what good you're doing then for anybody. You're sure not doing good for the citizens of this country. That's for sure. By just saying, we can't question anybody, we can't stop anybody. They want to come in the country, you got to let them in the country. And then you're not even going to let law enforcement find the criminals and get rid of them. Have you lost your friggin' minds? Have you lost your friggin' minds? Sometimes I think every member of Congress ought to be smacked in the head with a ball-peen hammer. Snap the out of it. Can you forget all the horse shit and get down to business, the brass tacks, and just fix what's wrong in this country and take care of business in this country? You swore an oath to the Constitution to protect it from enemies, foreign and domestic. You swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. You swore an oath that you're going to be a public servant and look out for the people of this country. But all you can seem to do is rob the people of this country and line the pockets of whoever has your favor, which is usually who backs you. Which, speaking to the liberals who want all these people in, go through rural California. Go to where all these illegals are living in these rural areas where they're going to work the dairies and the farms and stuff in this, and look at the conditions they live in there. And you want them to go there and live there because all the people that own those vineyards and everything else who want the cheap labor and everything, you might as well come clean with it, you Democrats. There are corporations and people and states who want cheap labor. And you're going to give it to them. And then in 10 years, we can hear all the Mexicans talk about how we got rich, white America got rich off of their labor, that we use them as slave labor. And then they're going to ask for reparations too. How about that? How about that? Because that's all you're doing is providing slave labor and cutting the throats of American citizens. So that a lot of these people, these big agricultural corporations and other things, or go to Texas. Go to the oil fields in Texas. You want to find illegals? Go to the oil fields in Texas. Go to any one of them truck stops along Interstate 20 there. Pecos, Midland, all through there at the end of the day, and you will find plenty of illegals driving trucks. Go ahead. You want to find them? You'll find plenty of them. So a lot of people want the cheap labor. And you're going to provide it to them no matter how much it costs this country. And then because these corporations and stuff and everything are going to do like Walmart and not provide benefits, and more or less they were giving their employees instructions on how to go get social benefits and stuff from the states, the respective states. That's what you're going to do. So that's the whole push for this socialized medicine and everything like this, is because these corporations and stuff don't want to provide benefits for anybody. So you're going to say, okay, here, we'll have cheap labor, and then we'll tax everybody, and we'll be able to provide, medical and all that and everything to these people who we're using for cheap labor, and everyone will be happy. And the rich will still get richer. You people that follow, it's like they pointed their finger at Trump. Oh, the tariffs. Who's going to pay for the tariffs? You're going to pay for the tariffs because it's going to make the prices of everything go up. And then they turn around and say they want all the socialist stuff. And, it's like, well, or they want to raise the taxes on all the corporations and stuff, or the rich and stuff. And it's like, well, what's going to happen when you do that? You raise taxes on everything under the sun, and these companies are not going to want to cut their profit margins, so they're going to raise the costs on their services or their products or whatever to cover the taxes. And also, because they got to pay more taxes, they're not going to be giving out raises to anybody anytime soon, or expanding or anything like that. So, like I said, it's all a dog and pony show, people. And you need to wake up to that. There's no free lunch. There's no magic pill that's going to fix everything. Everything is, there's a cost for everything. However, if you look at money and economics and everything, less taxes are better. More people, it gives more people more spending power. It gives more revenue goes to the government, because even though there's less taxes because of the expansion in employment and profits and things like that, the revenues will eventually go up. Even though you have a lesser rate, because revenues will go up and because there will be more people working, you will actually increase your revenues, tax revenues, at a lesser rate. It's been proven, it's been done before. Money has to circulate. It does no good if it all flows into Washington and then they give it out. That's why Hillary and Obama wanted to increase welfare and all this. Oh, because then they'll have more money to spend, and that'll increase the economy and this and that and everything. It's like, you know what? Why don't you just make it to where the economy can work and put those people to work, and then they can spend money and things will cartwheel that way, and grow that way. So it's just it's amazing that the wool they pull over people's eyes on every single subject, every single day, and people don't think. And the news doesn't do its job. It goes back and forth with all this crap and everything. And it's like today I was listening to Fox, and they had several people on there talking about Iran and blah, 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 and Iran this. It's like horse shit. Horse shit. Just going on and on about how everything is Iran's fault and stuff and everything. And it's like, here we go again. Are they going to try and sucker Trump into another Iraq? Oh, they're just the bad characters all the way around. They're the ones causing all the trouble. Really? All right. But you need to wake up to the propaganda. Whenever you see people on the TV and news speaking and stuff and everything, they're more or less handpicked. The script is written for them. They know what they're going to say before they get in front of the camera. It's because why? Because either somebody wrote it down for them. This is the point we want to sell, this or that, or hey, they get the call. Hey, you want to comment on this? All right, they're going to be on. So you don't think they sit down? They don't get their monologue, their spiel ready to push their point, to sell their point. It's all scripted out. They're careful about who they pick on what subjects and who they're going to put on, because they know what they want to push. And that's on either side. CNN, Fox, NBC, ABC, it don't matter who. All those talking heads, they're nothing but actors. They're script readers, giving their commentary, or the commentary that somebody thinks they should have. That's all it is. And they're not going to give up their big fat salaries to speak the truth. And they're not going to give up hobnobbing with the politicians and the actors and the sports players and whoever else. They're not going to give up their travel. And some of them do. They collect quite hefty 6-figure salaries. Some of them probably even 7-figure. I wouldn't doubt. So, you just, I don't know. The only truth and the only one you can trust 100% is your Creator. Allah Akbar. And have your faith and practice your faith, and more or less whatever happens in the world then happens, because most of it's just a distraction to take you away from your beliefs. So, but anyhow, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. I'm just I see so many people walking around like robots, whether they're on the left or the right, just repeating. Whether it's about economy, immigration, whatever. And it's like, you ever stop to think? The reporters sure don't stop to think, because they sure don't come up with any kind of questions. And the politicians, all they want to do is get in front of the camera and get their FaceTime. Get their FaceTime every day, speaking a bunch of hooey, pushing for their party to get reelected, instead of, hey, what'd you fix today? Did you put any money out there for better water treatment plants? They'll siphon all these pharmaceutical drugs that are getting into the system, and even just, and getting the regular toxins out so people can have clean drinking water. No. How about all the sewer lines and water pipes and everything in the cities that are rotting? Need replacing. Did you get on anybody's ass and tell them you want to see asses and elbows getting out there fixing this stuff? No, probably not. But you got in front of that camera today, didn't you? Got to speak your 2 cents on some horse shit, didn't you? Welcome to America, year 2019. God help us all. All right, you be safe out there, and remember, no greater thing you can ever say than Allah Akbar, and there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. May peace be upon him and his family and followers. Take care out there. Good luck to y'all in the future. I feel sorry for our children and grandchildren. Adios.